Hi, Lonnie King from Ontario Magazine. I was asked to do a 2-minute video talking about the best presentations to catch anything, anywhere. Can I do it in 2? Not a chance, but I'll try to do it in under 5. So top 5 presentations to catch anything, anywhere. I gotta say, to start the conversation, we gotta go with something that floats on the surface. Small minnow imitating plug, ideal presentation for catching those fish that are predisposed to feeding on the surface. There's a lot, especially in shallow water. When a fish sees something, when they're used to feeding on the surface and they see something trapped in the surface film, they learn that is easy prey. It's worth them investing the energy to go and catch it. So top water lure definitely got to be on the list. Small minnow, floater, diver type, even more versatile. Definitely one of the top 5. Another must-have top 5 presentations to catch anything, anywhere. It's got to be a small. It could be large too, but basically the whole ball head jig with a soft plastic trailer. Put a twister tail or a small tube jig on that, it's really hard to beat. And what this is doing is it's appealing to those species of fish that like to feed on the bottom. They're eating insects, they're eating crayfish, invertebrates, that sort of thing. And a jig is a great way to get down, get in contact with the bottom, and catch those bottom feeding fish. So a jig is definitely on that list. Number 3, I'd have to say, here we go. Keep in mind, we're talking not just lakes, we're not talking ponds, we're talking the broadest range of cross sections that you might want to fish. There's lots of different species that live in these different niches. I would say number 3, and again in no particular order, but you need inline spinners. Here's a whole box of them. These are my backups. There's hardly any small ones in here, but I particularly like the small 0 and size 1. But if you're fishing in particular rivers, it's one of the presentations that's really hard to beat. Where it differs from the other 2 I talked about, it's a very much an aggression. It's an aggressive, triggering type of bait. It's moving fast, it's flashing. The fish almost has to grab it just to figure out whether or not it's edible, and by then it's too late. So again, on the aggressive, you want some aggressive, you want some subtle presentations. Inline spinner, particularly if flowing water, great bait that has to be in the top 5. Number 4, this might be a surprise to some. I gotta say, it is jigging spoons. You can see there's hundreds of jigging spoons in these 2 boxes, and I got many more stashed away in other places. Where this fills a niche that other presentations don't is for deep water. As effective as a jig can be, it becomes cumbersome when you start getting into that 20 and 30 foot depths. It's just not practical. These really compact metal baits, they are awesome for getting down 20, 30, 40 feet and deeper. And again, these can be fished very aggressively. So like the spinner, a real good aggressive triggering the strike sort of presentation. I've seen many situations where I mark fish on the bottom and I go after them with subtle stuff and I throw a jigging spoon down afterwards, and boom, I'll get fish that I didn't catch with the more subtle presentations. Jigging spoon, one of the most overlooked, definitely one of the top 5. In terms of the 5th presentation, again, this really isn't so much a different lure as it is just a different configuration, but it's got to be a drop shot. The drop shot, I've always got, especially if I'm on water I've never been to before, you can bet I've got a drop shot rig ready to be put into action. And where this differs from the jig, I'm able to fish over bottom substrate, say it's really mucky, mushy, algae, whatever the case may be. My sinker is taking the brunt of the nasty stuff, but my hook and my bait is able to glide right above that, stay within the sight of the fish. And how I'll fish this, again, this is on the most extreme subtle end of the spectrum. Oftentimes you put a scented soft plastic on there. I've got some here, for instance, stuff like the Gulp, Trigger X, that sort of thing. You can literally cast that out and just hold it perfectly still and just give the fish time to move in, smell it, taste it, and boom, suck it in, boom, you've got them. So there you go, my 5 top presentations to catch anything, anywhere. If you like this type of video, hit the like button. If you don't agree with what I have to say, put it in the comments section. Let's start the conversation. Thanks for watching.